tonight.
Notre Dame in white on their home field. They start us off. Let's love the game from Notre Dame. Top 5 with Florida State number 5, Notre Dame number 2, both unbeaten. Will they stay that way after 90? We'll see. Annabelle Chukwu, one of the top threats up top there for Notre Dame to keep your eye on, along with Izzy Angle. Those two dynamic duo have combined for 20 goals on the season for the Irish, who come in number 2 in the nation in scoring offense, averaging 3.6 goals per game.
Well, it's really good control, even though it's the first minute of this game. Exactly what Nate Norman's team will be looking for is just to switch the point of play often, see if they can control the game through possession. This is a team that has the ability, Notre Dame, to be direct, but also keep possession. And against a high-powered offense like Florida State, they're gonna have to have moments where they just take the sting out of the game, slow it down at times, just force Florida State to have to chase.
Seminoles have been elite defensively. They have allowed just 2 goals all season so far. Top goals against average in the country. And talking to Brian Pensky, their best defending is the fact that they're attacking so often. Charlie Codd looking to link up with Angle there. That pass is intercepted.
Well, it was good movement from Codd already for Notre Dame, just drifting now into a little bit of a wider position to give herself a better angle to play forward.
Nate Norman excited for this matchup. Wonderful start for his team. Best, in fact, through 11 matches since 2008 that they come in without a loss. And now Suarez leading the attack the other way for Florida State. Has Dudley on her right, that's where she goes. Hodsden in the box, leading scorer for the Seminoles. Dudley, that takes a deflection out of play. It's an early corner for Florida State, and this has been a real area of vulnerability for Notre Dame. 5 of the 8 goals they've conceded in conference play have come off of set pieces.
Well, an early look as well for Florida State and how quickly they can attack in transition. So it's going to be crucial throughout this match for Notre Dame just to make sure they have good shape, bodies behind the ball, so when it is turned over, they can deny some of these counterattacking opportunities for Florida State.
Taylor Suarez, sophomore out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Hodsden over 6 feet tall. Number 42, a main target. Second ball goes back to the Seminoles, punch back in. Gilchrist is up there, it takes some help defensively. She may have been offside anyway, but Notre Dame had it covered, and now it's another corner.
Well, it was Pinto that was helping back for Notre Dame defensively, because Gilchrist just staying in position, a really dangerous position. So they won the loose ball, just trying to find a little lofted attempt in behind that back line of Notre Dame and force another corner kick in quick succession. And that's just how challenging it is to play against Florida State, the variety of ways that they can attack.
It's an incredible streak of goal scoring for the Seminoles, and there's an even better note as to when it started. Get to that after this corner kick. Will Casca be tested in goal? There it is! It goes right into her body. She coughs it up, but pounces right back on it.
Well, even when you feel like you have a little bit of control in possession, that's how quickly they can generate attacks. Florida State immediately win it, then they're off and running with numbers. So that's the area, especially here, trying to build out, that you just have to be very mindful of when you're going to take risks and when you're just going to play a little bit longer and alleviate some of the pressure from Florida State.
Brianna Hodsden applying the pressure there, able to win it back. Dudley, so good at finding her teammates in a variety of ways. We showed you the assist off a throw-in already this season. She's 3rd in the nation in terms of assists per game. Chukwu will try to chase this down for Notre Dame. Gilchrist, the leader of that back line for the Seminoles, up toward Dudley. There's Matriano getting onto it in the midfield. How long will she be able to go? They give it away. That's dangerous. Van Zanten is on it, but nobody home on the other side.
Well, that's exactly why they want Van Zanten in the midfield, typically an outside back, but they slot her in centrally for a little bit more dynamism, and also her ability to be able to step up, defend higher up the field, win the ball back. Nearly finds a player inside the 18-yard box, and it's a little bit of the nervy moment prior. Casca in a great position, but then bobbles it at the end, can't keep a hold of it. You see how many players for Florida State right around that loose ball.
I think also to credit Kasica on that, she recognized she was falling backward and did not want to bring the ball with her over the line. So well done all around to keep it out. But we showed you that incredible 65-match scoring streak for Florida State. Well, that goes all the way back to 2022 and a match here at Notre Dame where they lost 4-0 to the Irish. Dudley leading the way now. Leads it for Suarez. Suarez in the box. Goal! Seminoles!
Well, this all starts with Van Zanten, and we just mentioned her moments ago, why she's been inserted into the central areas. Look at this play, just goes to the ground to win it, and then Dudley's in a wonderful position to pick it up between the lines. And at this point in time, if you're Notre Dame, you're just scrambling to get numbers back, but it's the off-the-ball running from everybody in the attack for Florida State. Dudley, a player that we highlighted coming into this match, how important she's been all season long to link this team, right weight to that pass, allows Suarez to be able to take a touch and then makes no mistake about it. Top corner, far side, 1-0 to Florida State.
The Seminoles had an early goal in the last meeting between these two teams. It came down in Tallahassee, quarterfinal of the ACC tournament last year. Seminoles got a goal in the second minute of that one, wound up winning it 2-1. How does an early goal change things for either team here, Lori?
Well, right now for Notre Dame, you just have to recognize where the threats are for Florida State's transition, and they're going to press. You cannot lose the ball in possession in crucial areas like that because Van Zanten's going to be determined to win it. Then you have Dudley dropping in between the lines. No one on the back line knows if they should be stepping to her or just dropping. Both are doing both of those at the same time, so it just causes miscommunication. So settle yourself down, keep possession, start moving the ball like you know you can, play to your strengths, which is up top.
Matriano popped that ball over, but it winds up going to Addie Todd in goal. Brian Penske getting an early goal from his team has to make him happy as well. Long travel day, by the way, yesterday for this Seminole team. 12 hours of travel as they had some major delays they had to wait through in the Atlanta airport. But not looking at all rusty getting started in this one. This Florida State team has been pretty dominant thus far. Interesting though, just one top 25 matchup for Florida State to this point. That was on the road at North Carolina, game we called a game Florida State won 1-0. Their test is coming for sure, starting tonight. And my point with that is Notre Dame as a team has the ability to threaten this Florida State team in ways that many of their previous opponents just haven't yet. And you almost want to remind Notre Dame of that a little bit. They got hit early with that early goal, but they need to make Florida State defend what they can do because they've proven how good they can be all season.
Well, that's one of the things that you and I talked about is that Chukwu was going to try to generate an attack here, but those are the loose balls that they just have to clean up. But it is the pressure from Florida State. They just make you play at a tempo that you don't want to play at. It's a bit too fast right now. That's where the possession is going to be so essential for Notre Dame, just to slow things down, catch their breath, and build a little bit more confidence in this game. But the ability of Engel Chukwu to find those spaces in behind, it's about a balancing act. And you and I were talking about it before this game on making sure that Notre Dame can't get away from what they do really well, but then also finding that control that they're looking for throughout.
It's a big test, to be sure, as we said, for both teams, but another ball given away. This one at midfield, not quite as dangerous.
Well, right now, just getting completely beat in the midfield for Notre Dame.
McGrew turns it over on this side. Freshman's played really well in that back line, but this time it goes to Morgan Roy. Her left-footed shot too high.
But why not? If you're Roy, you've picked off the ball. It's the first real opportunity they've had. Go for it. Nowhere near goal, but now you can start to drive Florida State back a little bit more defensively and see if you can keep possession higher up the field.
Morgan Roy, just one goal on the season to go along with 5 assists. The junior out of Commerce, Michigan. Engel nearly getting a foot to it there. Good numbers around the ball as Grace Restovich picks it up for the Irish. Gets it back here. Restovich.
Good ball.
Back up in an attacking position now with the return of Matriano to the midfield. Here's Klinke on the far side. Now how good she can be serving it across. Had it blocked. Dudley all the way back defending for Florida State.
I like the positions though Simmons has taken up already for Florida State at times. She's making it a 4-back on that far side, giving herself a little bit of space, so then once it does go out wide, she can close the ground quickly. Make sure that she gets ample pressure on the ball carrier. It's that little space that she's given herself though to make up ground and make sure she doesn't get beat in behind from Notre Dame.
The Irish starting to gain a little bit more momentum here. Engel averages a goal a game for her career, which is just incredible for the sophomore. Massive year last year as a freshman, second in the nation in scoring, 19 goals as the ACC Freshman of the Year, trailing only North Carolina's Kate Fossey. Now 12 goals in 11 games this season. Dudley. Suarez can really break out with a ton of speed. Is played back this time for Simmons. Eighth season in charge for Nate Norman of the Irish. Had such a young team last year, but that young team paying dividends now, as so many of those players had that year of experience in a year that still saw this team go all the way to the NCAA quarterfinals. Florida State had that abrupt early exit, second round of the NCAA tournament, upset on their home field and penalties by Vanderbilt. They do have a 20-match unbeaten streak, Florida State, because technically that match counts as a draw. But you can bet that is also a motivating factor for this Florida State team that's been accustomed to being a part of the College Cup.
There we go, White, come on. Move it up there, move it up there. Let's go, Irish.
Engel, very closely marked by McGrew.
A smart play from Roy. These are the moments we just have to take a breath, wait for the pressure to come from Florida State.
Yeah, it just seems hard for Notre Dame to find a path through and forward.
You've got to give credit to Van Zanten immediately. You feel her impact. Has been out due to injury as of late, but this is a player that Brian Pinsky even talked about. They wanted to move into the midfield for a while, just haven't had the luxury to do it in terms of personnel availability. So now she's in there, and already you can see the dynamism and much more fluidity. You and I were on the North Carolina call, and as good as McGovern has been in that holding midfield role, it's a very different look playing on a front foot for them.
Chukwu. Not quite on the mark for Engel, but that shows you what that dynamic duo up top is capable of for Notre Dame. Wonderful turn by Chukwu. Restovich. Looks out to the other side for Klinke. Klinke going for goal. Doesn't miss by much.
Well, she's got Simmons a few different times, especially when she cuts in, and it's every time that she gets a little bit of a run. Simmons in her position has been great, but it's in these moments right here when Klinke is able to just get faced up and then just a little bit of change of pace to separate herself a few different times. Just needs to be keeping that on frame to at least force the save, create a little bit of a rebound. Nice idea from Klinke.
Yeah, no shots on goal yet for the Irish. But you feel the response has been good since conceding in the 6th minute. Taylor Suarez's second goal of the season, putting Florida State in front. Jordan Dudley with the assist. As you might imagine, looking at the rankings, looking at the records, the caliber of these two teams, these two programs, we've got some of the best players in the country on the field. We've got something exciting coming up at halftime, too. We'll be looking at the Mac Herman Trophy mid-season list. which we will reveal. I don't think I'm giving anything away when I tell you that, yes, there are certainly some players in this match who will be on that list. Calzada given a lot of room to run. Now closed down. Play on. Nick Balso, the referee, says. Suarez has really put herself in good spots to intercept.
Suarez and Van Zanten showing their ability to cover a ton of ground.
Engel leading the press for Notre Dame.
And one thing right now Notre Dame's doing a good job of, especially when they're trying to build out of the back, is once they switch play, it's making it difficult for the two front runners, Hodsden and Dudley, to get ample pressure on.
Restovich knew she had a runner in Engel, and it is just intercepted there. Chukwu, the intended target of that pass. Those two normally so good at finding one another. Chukwu and Engel, a little bit off so far to start.
Well, the best buildup that we've seen, and it comes from their patience. Their patience, a possession for Notre Dame higher up the field. You see the gaps that can open up, especially as you see Florida State overcommit a little bit defensively.
Clearly some miscommunication on that play, just given right back to Florida State. Janet Okeke, terrific addition to that back line for the Seminoles this season. Transfer from NC State, Canadian Youth National Team member. Dudley gets around her defender and now faces the goal. Has Hodsden running in the middle. Dudley slows it up. Has complete control, Jordan Dudley. Hodsden just over the crossbar. But there was not a moment in that sequence where Jordan Dudley looked like she was being forced to do something she didn't want to do.
Well, it's individual quality, just so smooth on the ball this time. Gets it to her feet. The overcommitment from Calzada leaves the space in behind for Dudley, and then she's just off and running. Does such a good job to ride the challenges, slow herself down at the right moment. But right there, the little change of pace to then try to connect with Hodsden is just excellent. One of the reasons why coming into this game, we've talked about her being one of the most complete attackers in the college game. A little bit of the evolution of her style is dropping a little bit deeper to get on the ball to go on those types of runs.
Dudley, a first-team All-American as a freshman back in 2023. Big part of the Seminoles National Championship. That is an easy call. A little surprised there's not a card on the play, actually.
Yeah, just a fistful of jersey from Gilchrist had stepped out. Here's that previous play, and you see Hodsden just stabbing at it. She's already got herself into the position, so it's difficult to adjust her feet. This comes across her body, gets underneath it, but perfectly laid off from Dudley. The weight of the passes from Dudley as well, even when she's at top speed, just change her pace, able to just to texturize it to find her teammate.
McGrew, a freshman who's played so well in Van Zanten's absence that she's allowed Brian Penske to finally make that move and put Van Zanten here in the midfield. Playing on the field where her older sister Kiki played for Notre Dame several years. Now Kiki in the NWSL. Roy trying to find a way around Sophia Wynn. That didn't work.
And there's the space in the midfield that we talked about, completely getting outplayed. Suarez, Van Zanten, and McGovern is really dictating the control of this game.
Simmons, who's been battling for that outside attacking spot in Florida State's midfield. And Asia Cologne also has been excellent there, and Brian Penske said he told them, look, you're both gonna play, we're just gonna alternate starting until one of you forces our hand the other way. Seminoles still on it here. Now Restovich picks it up for Notre Dame.
Well, and the tough part right now, for not only Notre Dame, but majority of the opposition of Florida State is they put you under so much pressure. You're having to do so much work emotionally and defensively that once you do win it, it's really challenging to be able to collect your breath, collect yourself, to then find the next moment, the movement off the ball, just to connect the first pass and alleviate some of that pressure. You can see right now, unless they connect 2 passes or so, Notre Dame then puts themselves right back under pressure, plays right into the hands of Florida State.
Well, Notre Dame conceded the first goal in their last match against Louisville team that's gotten off to a great start this season. But Nate Norman told us he was really proud of the way his team responded, adapted in that game. They saw something they did not expect to see from the Cardinals, and they came back and got the win 3-1. Florida State asking more questions tonight. Klinke. Two defenders there as Dudley drops down for Florida State. Irish looking for another switch now to this near side. Roy.
That ball has to be first time. First time into Cod, then you break the pressure. Instead, you try to take a touch, and here we go again for Florida State.
Dudley for Simmons. Back central. There was a back heel there by someone. Hudson maybe got it, but not on target.
Well, one of the things when you talk about in-game adjustments is for Notre Dame, it's just going to be about recognizing that Florida State, they're okay with not having possession the majority of this game. They'll wait, they'll press, they'll pick off loose balls. They have the athleticism, the ability to read the game. And see, Hudson once again knows that she doesn't get a good look on it. Already a little bit too narrow in terms of her positioning that run at the last second.
Seen a lot of advantage given by our referee. Very few fouls called so far. None on Florida State, 2 on Notre Dame. And I'm reminded that Rihanna Hudson, number 42 for Florida State, is another Seminole playing at the home of her big sister. Winaya Hudson played here at Notre Dame.
That's better movement from Engel. Just checking down, keeping possession, forcing the foul.
Van Zanten holding off a couple of defenders, and Suarez, you can see she accelerates with the ball at her feet. Now slows things up for Wynn. McGovern. Ryan Penske really pleased with the play of Peyton McGovern. This one she pops into the gloves of Kasica.
Tidy little player. Good in the tight spaces, can link up. As you see there, one of the first positive touches she really had in this game because it's been so stretched, and at times that can be challenging for her just in terms of getting around the field consistently with how quickly they go from defense to offense. But as soon as that ball's under control, she's off and running, looking to combine. Gives them a little bit of a different look in the attack.
Dudley is down, play on, and what a strike that is for number 2 for Florida State. Suarez again with a laser, and now a brace in the first half for the Seminoles.
Anytime there's a loose ball, so far in this game, it's been all Florida State, but it's been the midfield where they force the turnovers, then they get the runners off the ball. This time it's Van Zanten. What a pass that is to find Suarez, but it's the rotation. Dudley will drop in. Suarez gets higher up the field. So difficult to defend. 2 wonderful finishes from Suarez to start this game.
Just 1 goal coming into the night for Taylor Suarez. But no doubt about either of those 2.
Well, it's going to be interesting as this season goes on as well, and Van Zanten sits in that holding midfield role, the little deeper positioning for her, is because you can already see how much more Suarez is comfortable in taking more risks. We talked about Dudley and her movement this season to drop in to help link play, but the movement around Dudley is so important, and that's where Suarez, here goes Van Zanten again, just winning balls, being the first to it.
Enjoying a position a little higher up the field as the Seminoles looking for another, denied this time.
Now looking for another, and Suarez looking for a third hat-trick in this game if she can.
Why not? Both teams did make a couple of substitutions after the goal. Soleil Washington and Asia Cologne coming on for Hodsden and Simmons for Florida State. Very deep bench for Brian Pensky, and the Seminoles play a lot of players. Lily Joseph, who's been starting the last few for Notre Dame, comes on in place of Restovich in the midfield. This is Washington. Also in one of those positional battles with Rihanna Hudson. And when you consider that Hudson with 8 goals leads the Seminoles in scoring, and Washington is challenging for a spot, that tells you about the quality and the depth of this Seminole team. And one that is currently without a couple of players who've just gotten called in to the US U17 team. The U17 World Cup getting set to take place. Seminoles with a couple of players missing. Backup goalkeeper Evan Osteen, and Nanya Torre scored her first goal in the last match for the Seminoles. She'll be out potentially for a few weeks, depending on how long the US stays alive in that tournament. Ball into the box, a chance, as Dudley was able to get her head to it, but couldn't finish it off. Well, women's sports take over the afternoon every Sunday here on ACC Network. This week we start at noon Eastern with a top 20 field hockey matchup. Number 3 North Carolina hosting number 19 Louisville. Then we go over to volleyball, top 20 matchup there too. Number 10 SMU, number 18 Miami, and we cap the afternoon with my personal favorite, little soccer match. Number 2 Notre Dame back in action hosting SMU. All 3 of those also available on the all-new ESPN app. Una McCormack just checked in for Florida State. Transfer from Virginia, joining the Seminoles this year. Places the goal scorer Suarez, who'll get a little break after her brace. Charlie Codd under immediate pressure. Mimi Van Zanten has been impactful as an assist on that second goal to Suarez.
And Jen, when you think about this game being a really good gauge for both of these teams at this point in time in the season, measuring stick of where they are, I think 2 things come about for Notre Dame is that they just have to play a little bit quicker in those central areas.
They're on the move now. It almost feels like they are so determined to find their top 2 goal scorers that they're forcing it a bit. Meanwhile, Dudley running free now, back behind everybody. Dudley, it is stopped and kept out by Kasica with a little help from her friend, the post. Threat not over yet. Dudley lurking in the area. It's cleared out for a corner, but the Seminole team will not quit coming at you.
Well, Kasica needed that for confidence-wise after giving up 2 goals already. Maybe could have done better with the previous one with Suarez. At that time, gets 2 good hands on it to keep it out of the back of the net, and then the defenders doing the rest to make sure they get on any sort of loose ball and prevent that ball from coming across.
And Asia Cologne, a transfer from Arizona State. This is where she really shines, can really whip a ball in. She'll have to try that one again, though, as it is whistled dead before the corner kick was taken. Cologne, 5 assists on the season to go along with 1 goal in her first year with the Seminoles. Puts it right along the goal line, forces Kasica to tap it over.
Another good save from Kasica, just keeps her feet moving. It was almost like had a little bit of a bend on it. Yeah, there's the swerve at the last second. So Kasica already pinned to her line. Just needs to make sure about it. Gets that big hand just to caress it over the crossbar.
Casca, sophomore goalkeeper for the Irish. Won the starting job partway through the season last year. Comes a service from the other side, top of the net, and Notre Dame can finally take a breath.
Well, as this game wears on, she's going to continue to be so important. There's that loose touch from Mills that leads to Dudley to be going 1v1. Just gets herself sized up. You see the ground that she covers just to get herself out, make the goal smaller. Good touch to prevent that one from going in, because you would have felt like that would have been the dagger right there. 3 goals in the first half already for Florida State, but Casca gives a little bit of belief still. Maybe a little bit more confidence for herself. See this half out.
And what is the key, do you think, Lori? I mentioned it felt like sometimes the Irish are forcing it, trying to get it up to Chukwu and Engel when it's not there. But you need to get those two on the ball, so how do they figure that one out? Klinke looking for Engel here, and it is just too close to Addie Todd.
Well, before Dudley had that little breakaway, I was starting to say the two things that they're going to have to use as a gauge is that we need to play quicker in the midfield. We're getting caught on the ball at Notre Dame, and that's leading to some of these transition moments, knowing that Florida State's happy to not have a lot of the possession. They just want to go quickly once they do win it. Clearly, it's been successful. But then also just acknowledging that you have to be comfortable with not getting that many opportunities in a game. This is a Notre Dame team that creates a ton, haven't so far in this game. So you have to be clinical, and you have to use those two front runners to, one, bring into the game.
Good ball into the box. McCormack, the intended target. Good switchback from Wynn, and it's another corner coming.
Well, bring them into the game by playing them into their feet first, and then get the runners off, and then you can create other opportunities. Big balls over the top right now are just going to play right into the hands of Florida State defensively.
I mean, the fact that we can hardly finish a thought on what Notre Dame needs to do offensively because Florida State is threatening kind of sums up how the game has gone so far. Seminoles relentless in this first half. This the 5th corner coming up, and Cologne has proven dangerous on her first 2 attempts. Headed back toward goal, up and over again. Casca doing well.
Well, big hugs for Casca all around, because she's come up huge in the last 5 minutes, but it did look like it took a little deflection. That's what catches it up at the last second right here. Actually, I'm not so sure it does, but just through traffic, a little lofting header that's coming down at a bit of an odd angle.
Corner kick number 6 for the Seminoles.
That was a tough one to deal with for Dudley, just hanging in the air the entire time. Can't generate enough power, almost jumps a little bit too early, so catches it, she's coming down.
Dudley so tough on herself, Brian Pensky telling us, just has such high expectations. That's what happens when you're a first-team All-American and national champion in your first year in college. But she affects the game in so many ways. Has had a couple chances now where she's been denied. Tessa Knapp, Ellie Hodsden coming on for the Irish. Hodsden's been a nice boost off the bench a couple of times already this season, getting in on the scoring. Charlie Codd and Chukwu, the 2 to come off. Haven't really gotten to see much of Chukwu. Fair to say, Florida State has not allowed you to see this Notre Dame team be at its best, because coming in would have told you this Irish team, one of the best attacking teams in the country, and the numbers would back that up.
You counter that with Florida State's defense and how suffocating they are from top to back. I mean, even this right there, this is a challenge that Engel would typically, or foot race that she would typically win, and an ability to get in behind immediately. Just can't get her positioning right, then draws the foul, and Florida State will be happy in those moments. McGrew doing a really good job of putting herself in between the ball and Engel to draw that foul. So little details like that, though, that are go unnoticed a lot of the time until you're playing top teams, and they really stifle the opposition in the attack, and that's what's happening right now for Notre Dame.
Jada McGrew feeling some contact, maybe wisely went down with it there. This freshman, who's never played on the back line before, but got thrust into that spot when the need arose for Florida State when Van Zanten was hurt earlier this season, and has been so strong back there that she's held on to the spot and allowed Van Zanten to move up. You can see that, what Brian Pensky said, she just has this attitude that she's not going to get beat. You can see that there against one of the very best attacking players in the country, in Engel.
The back three, you could say that about all of them, led by Gilchrist, but Okeke, McGrew. I mean, the three of them have been exceptional. And they read each other really well, because at times McGrew can just step in and be aggressive, then they funnel back, and then whether it's Simmons on the far side or even Cologne, they just drift in, pinch in, and continue to make it a three-back, so it's so difficult to break down, hence why they only have 2 goals against so far this season. Here we go again, Okeke just stepping in wonderfully.
Big gap there in the middle of the field. Okeke sees it, plays it back. And it is not that this Florida State team cannot possess the ball, they can. But as you've talked about, they're quite all right with not having it at times and putting the pressure on and winning it from turning teams over.
Well, really, that's the difference of long, sustained possessions. And why would you? Because they do such a good job of being able to, once they do win it, it's quick little combination. That disorients defenders, and then they're off and running with the space in behind. Gonna play what you're given.
Matriano off a nice effort there from Hodsden to track that down. Keeps it in play for the Irish. Matriano playing it up toward the front line.
Well, Van Zanten's playing like she's wanting to get back on the field. She's been missing some games due to injury, but she's been excellent. She's the one that puts in that tackle there at the last second against Notre Dame. Covered a ton of ground already out of that deep lying midfield role.
Roy, left-footed ball across. Todd gobbles it up. Under 10 minutes to go in this first half that has been dominated by Florida State. Seminoles 8-0-2 on the season. Notre Dame 10-0-1. Those are their overall numbers. Both 5 matches into the ACC. Notre Dame a perfect 5-0. Florida State 4-0-1. That one draw coming against NC State on the road in Raleigh, where they had to have a late goal to even pick up that point and stay unbeaten. But it has been a smothering onslaught of attack from Florida State in this first half. Notre Dame really struggling to find their bearings against all of the different weapons that this Seminole team possesses. It's Suarez who has both the goals thus far, but the threats come from just about everywhere. Gilchrist. McGrew asking for options in front of her.
Substitutions for Florida State, entering pitch number 5, Gianna Riley.
Let's give you our Week 7 ACC Network Saturday football lineup. Starts at noon Eastern. It's a command center presentation of Pitt and number 25 Florida State with 4 different camera angles and real-time player and team stats. Then number 13 Georgia Tech hosting Virginia Tech, and then Clemson Boston College at 7:30. All games also available on the new ESPN app. Couple of new players onto the field for the Seminoles. That was one of them taking that shot there. Gianna Riley had it blocked. She came on to replace Wynn. Can Engel and the Irish get something going the other way? Roy. Hodsden. Roy. Has time to get it off with her left. What a rifle of a shot. Well done by Todd to get down. And then it's one back. Roy in the box for Notre Dame. That one much easier for the Florida State keeper.
Oh, what a shot that is from Roy. Gets all of it, takes it low, but it starts with her just getting faced up and then gets a little bit of separation, goes herself. It's a good looking shot, forces a save from Todd, and then continues the play. Gets it back again, and just the wrong decision in the end. Tries to go herself at a really tight angle, had a couple runners in the box at least to force a scramble. But this is better from Notre Dame, and they're finding those front runners. Engel's getting more involved at times. She's just dropping in, bringing pressure with her, and then that's going to allow for other players to join in, but it's also going to force other players for Florida State defensively to drop, and that's when the space starts to open up.
Well, Notre Dame has not had any corner kicks in this match. Florida State has had 6, so this is their first real opportunity from a set piece. Is this the play that gets the Irish offense going? Calzada serves it into the box, flicked back by Engel. Usually so good with that, but no one on the other end of it. And we came in talking about really both of these teams, tops in the country in a lot of statistics, but offensively, Notre Dame number 2 in terms of their scoring offense. They average over 19 shots and nearly 9 shots on goal per game. They have 5 shots so far total in this one, just 2 of those on target. And the other half of that equation is, of course, this incredibly stingy Florida State defense. They've used 3 different goalkeepers, Florida State. Maddie Todd is the number 1, but Brian Pensky very confident in his 2 backup goalkeepers as well, including Evan Osteen, who is with the US U17 team. This will trickle all the way to Cassica. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half on a chilly fall night in South Bend, Indiana. Top 5 matchup that has been pretty intense, as you would expect.
Well done from Washington.
Yeah, holding off Matriano there. Matriano probably not as involved as Notre Dame would like, I would think, in this first half. Player who's been out the last 3 games with an injury. Bouncing ball in the box, goes all the way across. Casca instructing her defenders to get there. That's not what they were going for. It's another corner coming now for Florida State. Ellie Pinto, sophomore, started every match, actually all but 2, just about every match so far this season on the back line for the Irish.
Notre Dame's just going to want to be aggressive and just make sure they don't concede another goal. Get into the halftime, at least at this score line, to be able to regroup.
Cologne with the delivery into the box, and Cassica punches it away. Mariangela Jimenez able to help keep that alive initially for Florida State. Now it goes out of play.
Substitution for Notre Dame, entering the pitch, number 2, Claire Logan. Number 6, Kate Buckner.
Nearly trickles into that far post, but Casca, once again, come up with a big save. And even if there's players around all going up for the ball, the determination from Florida State to attack and get something on it to keep it alive. Exceptional work.
Well, Izzy Engel doesn't come off too often. She has come off now. Paige Buckner replacing her for Notre Dame for these last couple of minutes of the first half. Claire Logan also on in the midfield for Matriano. McCormack. I mean, Cassica has It's a good thing she's wearing green because she's gotten that jersey dirty already in this first half. She's had to fly up in the air, dive to the ground a number of times. Florida State putting her under all kinds of pressure.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, Irish. Come on, offense. Come on. Come on, Irish.
Hodsden will make a run for this.
The right idea to play that ball. If you're Notre Dame, you got your two runners really forcing the back line of Florida State to have to track back, and then an easy.
Roy. No Engel, no Chukwu. Plenty of threats for Notre Dame. They get one! What a moment for the Irish, making it count. Paige Buckner just in off the bench, has her second goal of the season.
And you and I said coming into this game, they can't get away from what makes them so dangerous as well, Notre Dame. This is really the first time they've got two runners getting in behind. It forces this missed clearance and then the quick throw in. And then you have players in good position. This is the first time that we've seen Florida State have to scramble defensively because Notre Dame has more than just two players inside the 18-yard box. But it's a wonderful finish, collects it. There's the putback, the header, and then the collection, and then the finish. To cut this lead in half at such an important time in this game, headed right into halftime, gives them a huge boost of energy for Notre Dame.
Paige Buckner, a junior out of Rancho Santa Fe, California. No appearances her freshman year. 11 appearances with 1 goal, 1 assist last year, and now her second goal of the season. Just the third goal that this Florida State team has conceded all season long, and a hard-earned one as well.
Well, and it really started right before that throw-in. The direct ball in behind that forced the missed clearance and put it out for the throw-in, and then they take it quickly, and they have players in really good position and then attack with numbers, and then we haven't really seen all game long. You can see just one of the slight vulnerabilities when they're having to defend, scramble, they're not set defensively. Florida State can get caught, but it's a wonderful finish. First touch from Buckner to set herself up, second one back of the net.
Notre Dame, you would think, certainly will take some confidence and some momentum into halftime. Maybe even more so with the fact that they did that with players off their bench. Hodsden with the assist, Buckner with the goal.
Well, and Brian Pinsky will be disappointed, one at the time when that was conceded, but also that they're not tuned in off of a quick throw-in.
But the Irish get on the board in the 44th minute after it was really a lot of Florida State for that first half. 2-1 our score.
A lot of Florida State, and they
second half ready to go. Seminoles like to do this, put the ball out of play, and then say, we dare you to try to move it upfield against us, because they're going to bring a whole lot of numbers over to that area. It's just a slip on the throw, and it looked like there. And Nick Balser, I think, is going to have the throw retaken. Like it just slipped out of the hands. Well, maybe he's giving it to Florida State as an illegal throw. That's a tough way to start.
Yeah, I actually thought it was just going to be retake the throw.
Well, this is the big leagues here. Top 5 NCAA matchup. They don't get any do-overs. What would you expect it? So an early set piece chance now for the Seminoles. Hodsden nods it down right to Casca, who had a season high already 6 saves in the first half.
Well, I'm not so sure it's just about fighting harder either. It's just about making sure that you take care of the little details. And that one, you just give away a free kick that almost leads to another goal. Hodsden rising above.
Peyton McGovern collecting it to Van Zanten now for Florida State. Chukwu, Engel, both out there. Top of the attack for the Irish. Codd coming over to apply some pressure. Tough tackle Gilchrist going to feel that one. I think Charlie Codd heard her coach's speech at halftime.
No, that's going to be interesting because she just comes in with the 2 feet. No intent to hurt Gilchrist. She was just trying to go for the ball, but at the same time, dangerous tackle just comes in, completely takes out Gilchrist.
Well, it's great to see Gilchrist back to her feet. We'll give you another look at what Lori was talking about here.
You just have to be a little bit careful in that situation because you're showing your cleats at the same time, leading with the bottom. And we've seen that be called in terms of at least a card before, but does well to timer, get all of the ball.
Dudley, excellent through the first 45 minutes for Florida State on that Herman Trophy midseason list that we highlighted at halftime. Chukwu trying to hold off the defense. Did well, got it to Klinke. 2 players there for Florida State. This is going to be a infraction against Florida State, so Notre Dame will take over. Free kick for the Irish. Matriano, player we highlighted, number 13. Great to see her back healthy. Started the first 8 matches of the season and every match last season. A real anchor in the midfield for Notre Dame, who'd been out the last 3. Grace Restovich ready on the delivery. Codd wants it off the volley. Not bad.
A really good chance from Codd. Just settles herself as it's dropping. Not easy to take that first time and makes really good connection. Doesn't miss by much right there. Just hangs up in the air, gets all of it, even if she feels the pressure coming on her. Just trickles wide. Todd was there in the end. The better start, more positive start.
Interesting on the formation for the goal kick there for Florida State. Angle.
That's a good tackle from McGovern.
Roy. Florida State is playing in that way where it looks like they have an extra body on the field. Very few times does Notre Dame get a break. Another lovely turn from Chukwu.
Wonderful McCrew. McCrew does such a good job. We've seen her do that a number of times throughout this season. Step in, timer, her tackle, dispossess the opposition. But this is a better start from Notre Dame in the sense that they're on the front foot, they're pressing higher, they're making it a little bit more difficult now for Florida State to be able to build out so easily.
Roy will get it back. Battled there by Hudson. Hudson Dudley on the top for Florida State to start this second half, as they did at the beginning of the match. Addie Todd, that goal in the 44th minute, just the second that she has conceded all season, just the 3rd Florida State as a team has let in. Throw will back up a bit here for Simmons. Cameron Simmons, 2nd year with the Seminoles, started her career first 2 years at Tennessee. Also has played for the Jamaican national team, part of their 2023 World Cup squad along with Van Zanten. Kiki, that is. Mimi's been coming up through the youth ranks.
Keeping everybody on their toes.
Including ourselves.
Exactly. Most importantly.
Abby Mills, sophomore in the middle, good control. That was the key word for Nate Norman coming into this match that he needed to see from his team. Chukwu loses it. Suarez already on a brace. Sophia Wynn. Notre Dame will try to just see this one out of play, and they do. Well played by Ali Pinto, player who's gotten some time this year after not playing at all last season for the Irish. And Nate Norman admitting, you know, she's really stood out. Maybe just needed more of a chance last year. He didn't give it to her, but she's certainly making the most of the chance she's getting now.
We saw this a few different times in the first half. And also just there again on that last play, as soon as the ball comes around and they switch the play and move it across their back three, Notre Dame, you can see the pressure immediately from Florida State, but there's nobody in the midfield. Restovich has run out, decreased her angle. There's nobody in there to be able to be the outlet to then be able to get faced up in play angle and Chukwu higher up the field.
Suarez. 3 defenders swarming around her.
Right there, look at the positioning of Van Zanten. That's the player that's missing right now for Notre Dame once they get the ball out wide. It's good defending.
Chukwu wins it for Engel. Izzy Engel, scissor step. Slows herself down and then loses it.
Much better. Higher up the field pressing. Force the issue a bit, the turnover, and then Engel exactly where you want her, running at your back line. But you got to give credit to Florida State, doing a really good job of getting numbers back, helping out defensively.
A little swivel of the hip by Klinke to get this service off and across. Ball swung back in. Better from Notre Dame for sure.
Well, Matriano immediately just hits the ground after that Roy opportunity, just skies over. And Roy's had a few different opportunities from that right-hand side. Here's Engel, but the defense, the determination to not get beat, and then Van Zanten to come back, stay connected to those back three to help out, make it predictable for themselves. Even though it's been the better of play right now from Notre Dame to start this second half defensively, it's Florida State that's up to the challenge.
Well, Charlie Codd has been complaining to the referee. I'm not sure if it's the amount of time that it is taking for Florida State to set up these goal kicks. With all 3 center backs in a line right around Addie Todd, who is the one to eventually take it. It may be up to Florida State now to match the intensity that Notre Dame has come into this second half with. Gilchrist looking for options upfield. I think you're so right though, Lori, that midfield link. You see it being used for Florida State and you feel the void of it for Notre Dame when they win it.
But there is a huge difference as well with Van Zanten. Great credit to her just coming into this game after being out injured.
That's where you cannot turn it over. Dudley, so sure-footed. Ball in and saved. Kasica, massive once again.
Well, I'm not so sure Simmons was actually trying to go for goal. I think she was trying to bend it into the far post where she had runners and help. It's another good quick attack through Dudley. Look at the positioning of Simmons just to keep herself wide to then to try to get that ball off, but it doesn't matter one bit. Still forces a save from Kasica, and it earns a set piece, and now they're able to relieve some of that pressure they've been under to start this second half.
7 saves now as that season high number continues to escalate for Kasica, and this will be corner kick number 8 of the match for Florida State. Put toward the back post, headed back down in the middle. Still there, a crowd of players around it. Florida State continuing to threaten, and Charlie Codd has runners on either side of her. Restovich to her left, Engel to her right. Codd, edge of the box, took it herself.
See that run from OKK to try to get back to ensure that Codd felt that pressure. She was looking over her shoulder, just glancing to see if she had a little bit more time. Codd did a really good job, though, getting herself turned, faced up, and then driving.
This ball driven toward Engel, but out of play.
But just to finish that point about Van Zanten, because we talked about her a number of times in the first half, and her presence is just evident since the opening whistle. And even with just a couple weeks ago when Florida State beat North Carolina at North Carolina 1-0, this team looks and feels very different with Van Zanten in that midfield, breaking up plays, just linking play when necessary, giving them a little bit of more confidence in possession. But what it really does is frees up Dudley, it frees up Suarez even more.
Engel's gonna make a chase for this, maybe got a little bit of a push, but held her ground. I mean, this freshman for Florida State is fearless on the back line. You sense, though, Notre Dame knocking on the door, getting ever closer, potentially, to that equalizer. Florida State, though, not going anywhere. Turn this one over. Ball directly to Chukwu. The offside flag is up. It came up right away.
I think it's actually Chukwu that was in a starting position offside, just trying to stretch the game as much as possible. It's the right idea from Chukwu, and then at the right moment trying to come in. It's a poor giveaway and uncharacteristic of McGovern. Did look like it was Chukwu potentially prior to that, getting herself back on side at the last second, or trying to at least, and that's what was called offside, not actually Engel. Regardless, when you think about this and you talk about Notre Dame knocking on the door, this is the next step now for Florida State, is to start to keep a little bit more possession themselves, start to move the ball around and see if you can tire out, push Notre Dame back a bit more defensively than they have to start the second half.
Simmons earned the last corner for the Seminoles. Back to McGovern. Van Zanten. Dudley. Hodsden trips over the ball. There is no space too small for Jordan Dudley to make something of it. Got to be such a tough mark for defenders, Jordan Dudley. Not much seems to ruffle her. Brian Pensky looking for his first win as a head coach in South Bend. 0-2, one Maryland, one with Florida State. Simmons dancing, waiting, passes it off. Ball back toward Hudson and McGovern, who is quite good in the air despite being 5'1".
Was waiting for that.
Jeez,
got herself
not
hung
afraid.
up.
Nate Norman with the assist on the sideline. He's got a couple of subs ready to go. It is a Florida State throw. Is this a match that perhaps determines the fate of either of these teams in their pursuit of an ACC regular season title? Notre Dame sitting atop the ACC at 5-0, but trailing tonight. Florida State just the one draw in conference play so far to go along with 4 wins. Want to remind you about the all-new ACC PM, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 7 Eastern. On Fridays, we've got a special 2-hour football-focused edition. That is from 5 to 7, hosted by Kelsey Riggs-Cuff, right here on ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. Simmons, no, Dudley, excuse me, around the corner there. Ball stays in play. Gilchrist up to aid the attacking effort. Now Simmons, and thought she had Dudley creeping forward. Van Zanten. Hodsden and Joseph, the two subs to come on for Notre Dame. Ball in the box, Dudley is there, oh my! What an effort from Jordan Dudley.
Great ball and great run. Perfect execution outside of just not finding the back of the net, and it's Dudley just times a run, sees that no one's gonna pick her up, just sneaks in, but it's really well worked on that far side, and this Suarez trying to repay the favor to Dudley that she got in the first half. Look at that ball into the back post, but you see the body positioning of Suarez just leaning back the last second to make contact. It's that positioning that just lifts it over the crossbar, can't keep it under. Great look, one of the best of the second half for Florida State.
Cologne and Washington into the match for the Seminoles now. Klinke. Scissor steps from Klinke. Roy. Two defenders there, gets it through anyway. Klinke didn't connect. Florida State scrambling a little bit. Didn't see that happen much in the first half. Look at all the Irish in the box. Now a chance, Engel! Yes! Notre Dame equalizes, and Izzy Engel adds another to her incredible season. Lucky number 13 for the Irish.
We said it a few different times in the second half so far. You could feel it coming with the increased intensity. We heard it from Nate Norman coming into the second half as well. But anytime you give this player, Izzy Engel, an opportunity inside the 6-yard box, she is going to find the back of the net. They keep it alive. They fight for that loose ball. It lands directly in her path. 1-2 touches to collect herself, and then the back one. The third one just into the back of the net, tie this game, and all of a sudden, game on. Here in South Bend.
Here we go, 2-2 as Izzy Engel makes her mark on this match.
And you saw the look of Brian Pinsky just a second ago, not happy, especially coming off that last little chance from Dudley off the service of Suarez.
You said this match would test both of these teams. It has. Notre Dame trailing early 2 goals. They've come back with 2 unanswered when Florida State had given up 2 in their first 10 matches total.
Well, how important once again was that first goal at the end of the first half, just to give them a little life, but also just to cut the lead in half, because it makes it so much less daunting to try to get yourself back into this game. They started this second half incredibly well. Just the intensity of their press to put Florida State under a bit more pressure defensively. And anytime you see Engel with that opportunity inside the 6-yard box, she's going to score goals. Regardless, she is going to find a way to get on the end of it. Excellent finish, and now we'll see what the response is from Florida State, because very rarely do they find themselves in this position where they'll feel like they're scrambling a little bit right now with the momentum in favor of Notre Dame.
Hodsden running after this one. She has a chance to get there. Hodsden deflects it off of Okeke. And this is going to be a free kick for the Irish. Okeke, frustrated, has to be careful here. She is going to pick up a card for that reaction.
Well, listen, just in the initial look of it, I feel for Okeke, because it looks like she is just going shoulder to shoulder, gets the better of Notre Dame. We'll have to see that one again. Here they're both just going, and I actually don't think that's a foul. It's really unfortunate, and you know she gets the yellow card just from the reaction from it.
And Notre Dame looking to keep this wave of momentum cresting in their favor Morgan Roy ready for the set piece. 6 players in the box for the Irish. Near post, cleared away. So Notre Dame once again will get a throw. And Florida State maybe trying to figure out how they regain some control in this match. Good long throw. Ball there from angle. Notre Dame takes the lead. Hodsden from angle. The Irish in front.
Well, it was a quick throw in the first half, late in the first half to open up the scoring campaign for Notre Dame. And then once again, off of a throw-in. And I was just about to make the point for Florida State. Somebody at this point in time, a leader on their team, has to get everybody set. Bit uncharacteristic of Gilchrist to not be able to clear the lines in that moment. Just send it into the stands. Do not give Notre Dame a chance. But it's Engel that gets to it first, the desire to go to ground, keep that alive. And then Hodsden with the easy tap in, keeps it on frame. And then all of a sudden, the shift in momentum in favor of Notre Dame. They take the lead. Really 3 unanswered goals. Oh, what a turnaround for the home team.
2 goals in less than 2 minutes against a team that had only conceded 2 goals. I know I keep saying it, but it is such an impressive number. And now Florida State in the very unfamiliar position of trailing in a match. Looking to maybe get it right back.
Well, how many times have we said it? It's going to test you in so many different ways. Notre Dame and how resolute they were going to be. Can they shift the momentum? Can they change the intensity of this game coming into the second half? Well, they've done that.
Van Zandt with the service. Header with some power from Dudley, and more than a bit of frustration after the fact.
On offside anyway from Dudley.
Well, Seminoles have only trailed 1 match this season. That was against NC State for less than 9 minutes. In fact, both of these teams are accustomed to being in the lead or at least tied. They've only trailed for less than 3% of the minutes they've played this season. It's a pretty incredible number.
One thing that Nate Norman said coming into this game is incredibly happy with just the in-game adjustments that his team made against Louisville. They're going to continue to press as here's Engel picking up the loose ball.
Goal and an assist for Izzy Engel tonight. Slips though, as this one gets away from her.
But now it's just about the determination to also defend properly, make sure players get back, because this Florida State team is just going to come, and they're going to come with numbers.
Suarez, an early ball toward Dudley! There we go! Tie it again! Or are we? No, the offside flag's going to take that one away, but this will be, it looks like, reviewed. Now, keep in mind, it was called offside on the field. The assistant referee threw up the flag immediately. So when Nick Balser goes to look at this, he has to see clear and convincing evidence that Dudley was not offside for this to be overturned. Wow.
Well, look at this ball from Suarez. You are not going to see a better ball. It's clearly onside. Clearly onside. Look at this ball, though, from Suarez. What an excellent ball, just whipped in behind with pace to meet Dudley. It looks like it's Mills right in the middle, number 20, middle of the 3, that keeps Dudley onside, but it's really unfortunate because Pinto just losing Dudley in the end. Now that ball from Suarez, so inviting to allow Dudley to change her pace, get beyond the defense of Notre Dame, and then the first time finish. Past Kasica, just excellent.
The only thing I would say about watching that review is that you wish you had that angle right on the line. And you know, obviously we do the best that we can. So too does the referee when they're looking at this. They're going to get all the angles that they possibly can. It's just a little hard to tell. I tend to agree with you that it looked onside, but did it look definitively onside enough to overturn the no goal call?
Well, from the angle that we have, to me, that looks definitively onside, with Mills, middle of the three center backs, just keeping Dudley on by at least a foot. The other two, it's pretty even.
But I think you make a good point that it was Mills in the middle, the player that you think was the one holding her on. And the other thing I would say is if you watch Dudley, she very deliberately knew where she was on the field,
Yep.
held her line back, held her run back until she released. Looks like Nick Balser has made his decision. No goal, offside. Notre Dame retains the lead for the moment. It's a tough break if you're Florida State. But I think you could see the fight in the Seminoles that Brian Pensky would have wanted in that moment. Beautiful delivery from Suarez. Dudley has been finding her way onto the ball. But we go back in play now after video review. That offside call, remember, that was what was called on the field. Could have been different had it been called a goal. And Florida State hungry. Had the first 2 goals in this match, but have since conceded 3 unanswered to the Irish. Roy, long ball over the top. Hodsden, Okeke in a battle. Hodsden down to the ground. Whistle not blown. Soleil Washington has Cologne on the outside. That's where she goes. Cologne toward the goal. Kasica snags it out of the air.
And keeps a hold of it really nicely. Kasica alleviated a little bit of pressure because this is the intensity that we expected from this game. Back and forth, transition moments. Pressure's on Florida State now to find that balance of when they're going to go quickly, continue to put the pressure on Notre Dame, but also don't leave themselves exposed, because this second half, Notre Dame's look dangerous in transition themselves. Hodsden's been a great addition every time that she's come onto the field.
Roy got around the corner. Second wave of attack for the Irish. Angle the flick. Was just starting to talk before that flurry of goals, 2 in less than 2 minutes for Notre Dame, about how momentous this match really could be. Yes, both teams will learn from it. This will not make or break a season for either of these 2 teams, but it will give them some valuable lessons, and it may take away opportunities to win a trophy.
Well, in fact, this is going to make both of these teams that much better, because it's really going to highlight the fact that Notre Dame, one, they can't start the game the way that they did in terms of just not being confident, not battling for 50-50 balls, really just allowing Florida State away from home and have their way with this game. But the resilience to be able to battle back, retake or take the lead, and now force Florida State to have to chase this game.
And the Seminoles unquestionably have a brutal schedule to finish out the regular season. It is by far the toughest schedule of any of the teams in the ACC. We looked at the remaining games for all of the ranked teams, all 7 of them in the ACC right now. Florida State has 4 ranked opponents in their last 5, including Notre Dame tonight, including the top 3 teams in the country. Notre Dame tonight, then Stanford at home, and then they go on the road at Virginia, and then they also have Wake Forest. So that is 4 ranked opponents coming up for the Seminoles. Gonna have to finish strong. No other team in the ACC who are ranked have more than 2 ranked opponents remaining. Both teams some lessons too in how to manage the raised level of intensity that is elevating here as this match continues on into the night. Free kick after the fray for the Seminoles. McGrew. Cross from the corner. Dudley is there, knotted down. Jordan Dudley continues to be a menace. Had a goal taken off the board a couple of minutes ago, courtesy of the offside flag. Cologne. Had McCormack cutting across. Klinke. Hodsden stays out there. Engel is off for the moment. Chukwu took her place in the last substitution for the Irish. Player still down. It's Matriano for Notre Dame. She's now back to her feet. Was in a boot last week, and Nate Norman, when we spoke with him even yesterday morning, still a bit unsure as to how much he was going to be able to get from his leader in the midfield. Tessa Knapp, freshman into the match. 2 goals on the season, replacing Codd.
Let's go. Way to go, White. Come on, Irish. There we go, there we go.
Chukwu, it feels desperate to get herself involved in this match. It's been quiet for the Canadian youth team player. Restovich back in now for Matriano. Okay, up to Suarez. A brace on the night for the Seminoles. Dudley has Washington crisscrossing in front of her, trying to find a run. Washington hemmed in, plays it back. Cologne. Suarez. Okeke carrying all the way, nearly finds a player in the box. Lily Joseph couldn't keep it for the Irish. Mentioned that Florida State, their last trip here in 2022, they lost that match 4-0. The 2 teams would meet again in the ACC semifinals that year. Tie 3-3, and Florida State would advance on penalties. The Seminoles are the 5-time defending ACC tournament champions. And they are trying desperately to get this match back even.
A lot of numbers back for Notre Dame right now. Exactly what they need to do, but at times still have to continue to attack, just can't leave themselves exposed. With too many players push forward, just have to manage these last 20 minutes or so.
Van Zanten. Now, I'm going to preface this question, Lori, by saying that I give a lot of credit to Notre Dame and what they are doing, but is there anything that is not working at the moment for Florida State that was working better earlier on?
Well, they had more space. You see all the numbers right now for Notre Dame back behind the ball, being as compact essentially as possible to take away those entry passes. And that's something we didn't see at all in the first half. We talked about the midfield domination for Florida State, but that was because Notre Dame was getting so stretched defensively. There's just loads of space. Now much more compact, just keeping the ball in front of them. Tighter between the lines, so there's not as much space for Dudley to be able to bounce off and then get faced and turned up and faced.
Izzy Engel back on goal and an assist tonight for Notre Dame. Claire Logan returns as well to replace Joseph.
But when that's the case and a team's willing to sit back at different times, then you have to continue to find your wide players. Move it side to side, find the wide players, allow them to go 1v1 or look for the little combination and then serve balls in. You've got Dudley, you've got Hodsden when she's in. Suarez can make those late runs.
Chukwu challenging all the way to the end line here. It is a deep throw for Florida State. Dudley sandwiched, asking where the call was, getting none. Suarez, touch got away from her. Logan lost it out of bounds. Florida State still trailing. 15 minutes to go. The Seminoles, in case you missed it, led 2-0 in this one. The Irish stormed back, 3 unanswered, including their last 2 less than 2 minutes apart. In the 63rd and 65th, Izzy Engel a goal and an assist in that sequence. Here she is on the ball now.
Good work. McGrew once again stepping in at the right time, reading the play wonderfully. Maybe cramping just a little bit, slow to get up. And the work that she continues to put in off that back line.
Substitution for Notre Dame entering the pitch, number 9, Charlie Todd. Replacing number 11, Tessa Knapp.
Women's sports taking over every Sunday here on ACC Network. Starts at noon, top 20 field hockey matchup. North Carolina hosting Louisville. Then it's a top 20 volleyball matchup, SMU and Miami. And then this Notre Dame team going to be hosting SMU. How will the Irish be feeling after this one? We shall see as we see how this one finishes out. All of those coming your way on ACC Network and also available on the all-new ESPN app. Player down for the Seminoles. We'll allow everybody to collect themselves a bit here and prepare for what is sure to be a fight to the finish. So while we have a moment, this is what I was referring to earlier. So looking at unbeaten teams in ACC play. By the way, those #1 Virginia Cavaliers staying unbeaten, but Cal getting a couple of late goals. That one finished 2-2 tonight. But you look at what they have left, and that is that challenging schedule I told you for Florida State. It's pretty rocky road for the Seminoles to come. That Stanford-Florida State match, too, should be really interesting. Stanford having to come across the country. The Cardinal bypass a lot of the other top-ranked teams in the ACC, just the way that this unbalanced schedule played out this season. But that one down in Tallahassee will be significant.
When you just look at the schedule for all those teams, and you can make the argument, regardless, this conference, no doubt the best in the country, and it really prepares these teams for postseason play, just in terms that they do see very different types of defenses, the way that teams set up against them. So there's always an opportunity to continue to make adjustments throughout, because some teams outmatch you straight up. You have other teams that will play a very different formation. So you have to be prepared in this conference. A lot of different looks from team to team.
Throw for the Seminoles. A little poke through. And the offside flag will end that play early. Soleil Washington making the run.
Well, who knows from that angle?
Yeah, just can't really see. But I will say I was a little surprised the flag came up so early. And usually, assistant referees are told to keep that flag down unless it is 100% definitively off. Can the Seminoles regain some of that early momentum that had them in the lead? It's been a frustrating run. They thought they had the equalizer from Jordan Dudley. She's on it now, manages to get that ball controlled. Offside took Dudley's goal away. Gilchrist, time and space. She'll get another go at it. Cologne, you don't want to give her time to get this service through.
That's exactly what they have to do. And we talked about the wide areas. When a team is sitting so far back and there's not a lot of room to be able to play through them, get the ball wide, serve balls in, force Notre Dame to have to defend inside their own 18 box and win those aerial challenges. Good opportunity off of this corner kick now for Florida State, where they did look dangerous in the first half.
Hodsden back in. That's another big target at 6'2" in there for the Seminoles. Van Zanten puts it back in the box. Brian Penske saying we just have to be better in both boxes tonight. Both teams are going to get their chances. Took a while for the Irish to start generating some of theirs, but they have. Florida State, though, still out shooting Notre Dame on the night, 17-12. They've doubled them up shots on goal, but they trail by 1.
Well, the Seminoles are going to have to be clinical, but they're going to have to just be smart about the chances that they're trying to take, because I would imagine we're not going to see a lot in terms of an attack from Notre Dame to try to see this game out. So they're going to sit back. They're going to be stingy defensively. They're going to sub as much as they can. Just disrupt the play and not allow for Florida State to find a rhythm, generate much in the attack. So taking those chances, even if you just get 1 or 2 more.
Matriano back, that's good to see for the Irish. Made her return to the lineup tonight after missing the last 3. And with the substitution rules in college soccer, tight match like this is where you expect both teams are going to be back at full strength, have all their top weapons out there, try to fight all the way to the finish. Chukwu running after this. Does get onto it, has angle central. Chukwu gets past another defender, has her shot, rolls it in for number 4 for Notre Dame.
Well, she has all the skill. Chukwu, it was just about getting her in positions to be able to showcase it. There's been a number of times. See that celebration, love it. a little handshake with her teammates, but there's been a number of times throughout this game where she's made some really good little runs. This time just hunts this ball down, little shimmy, a little bit of a shake, and then just at the last second, no, she doesn't need to blast it. Just get herself shaped up. Right there, that angle's taken away, but it lands right to her still in front of her, and she just knows that she just needs it inside the foot, pass it into the goal to really put this game out of reach. What a fabulous finish that is from Chukwu.
Her 9th goal of the season. Annabelle Chukwu, sophomore for the Irish, a breakout season, 3 goals, 2 assists a year ago in an ACC all-freshman campaign, but what a fantastic running mate she makes alongside Izzy Engel, and that was just all of her effort, pure effort, refusing to give up on that last play that got her that goal, and then a smart finish.
And also just a big ball over the top that caused Florida State some problems. She's able to track it down. I mean, control was one of the words that Nate Norman said coming into this game, whether it was through some possession or even just some of their direct play that they know that they can cause teams trouble with. Really didn't see much of that in the first half, but changed the course in the second, and credit to this team to be able to change their mentality, come out in the second half and really just take control of this game and make Florida State feel some pressure they haven't all season long.
Florida State flustered, and I was wondering, I remember that ball over the top thinking to myself, is that really a smart ball for Notre Dame right now? Should they maybe just be trying to control it and pass it around? But then it winds up in the back of the net.
And also it just alleviates pressure. Alleviates pressure because that's where Florida State wants you to play, is short passes, trying to possess.
Free kick here for the Irish. Good ball in the box. It takes a cluster of Florida State defenders to keep it out. Seminoles, if they were in unfamiliar territory being down 1 goal, this is truly the road not often taken by this Florida State team that has been so dominant really over the last several years. NCAA champions just a couple of years ago in 2023. Brian Pensky taking over, winning a national title, continuing the great work Mark Krikorian had done and built within this Florida State program. But now trailing by 2, and Seminoles had the lead at the half, and I bring that up because they have not lost a match when trailing at the half since 2010. But they are in danger of that happening tonight. Washington. Hudson, nice touch. Cologne, can she get there? No, not quite. What an incredible response from Notre Dame in the second half.
We were mentioning how this conference really sets you up for a postseason play. And this is one of the reasons why, because you have to be able to dig deep. Things don't seem to go your way.
El Chukwu, clear push in the back. It's going to get the whistle blown against
That's going to be a yellow card. Just kicks the ball away at the last second, but smart play from Chukwu. You'll take that any day long. I'm not actually sure that's the saying, but
I knew what you meant.
Right there, doesn't want Florida State to be able to restart quickly. This gets back, kicks the ball away, take that yellow card, but it's smart. And those are the little things that we were saying, even the first half, that Notre Dame wasn't doing, little details. But that is incredibly smart, because now you get set, you force Florida State to have to go long instead of play short quickly. And much like we talked about for Florida State in the first half, everything was playing into their hands. Well, now Notre Dame,
operating with the same type of confidence, although this Florida State team He can come at you so many different ways. We saw that on display in the first half. Simmons is back on for Cologne. Serves it toward the back post. Kasica having what could be a career night when this is all over. 8 saves is her career high. She is currently at 7. She's done her part, and that can be tough. I remember when you said she had a big save in the first half. After the 2 goals have been scored, you said that's big for her confidence. It's tough as a goalkeeper when you start the match and see 2 get behind you in the first 22 minutes.
Well, and then you also just want to generate and match what's happening with your team, and so much energy in the favor of Notre Dame.
Time ticking away on the Seminoles' unbeaten season. Roy gets it through. Engel nearly had another.
I thought that was going to be a number 5 for Notre Dame. That is exactly where Engel loves to live. Just initially sitting on the back shoulder of a defender, but this ball, it's just a short, quick set piece, but look at the movement from Engel. No one picks her up, no one sees her. Last second, just can't make contact. Good ball from Klenke, it looked like, or excuse me, Roy.
Dudley is tripped. This will be a free kick for Florida State. Van Zandt wants to play it quickly. Simmons. One-on-one battle with Klenke defending for Notre Dame. Van Zandt was looking for a run, goes back instead. Okeke. Simmons cannot find a path through. A lot of numbers back defensively for Notre Dame. It was around this time in the season last year that Florida State last lost a match by 2 or more goals. It's also the last time they trailed by 2 or more goals. It was a loss to Wake Forest. Wonderful year for Wake Forest last year that saw the Demon Deacons eventually go to the College Cup. They won that 4-1. And Nate Norman right now keeping that game face on until he can see that clock hit 0 and celebrate what would be an incredible accomplishment the way his team responded here tonight. And it feels like, Lori, we've seen portions of the match where you've seen Florida State at their best and how dangerous they can be, how tough they are to break down. And then on the other hand, you've also seen Notre Dame at their best. And that's why this is such a good matchup. Oh, a chance there. Van Zandt scuffs it. Maybe was looking for an assist instead of a shot.
Oh, he had such a good angle, too. I thought she was just going to nail that into the far post, keep it low.
Hodsden! Too high.
Looks like Matriano's down.
Yeah, she's trying to get back to her feet. They need her healthy, and not sure she's 100%, but she's gonna call for a substitute, or maybe she's saying she's all right. Got the arm in the air. Hopefully it's the latter.
Yeah, it looks like the top of her cleat just clips the boot. Florida State just sees her way off, not going to take any chances, make sure they have a fresh leg. Fresh legs come on in her absence.
So Lily Joseph makes her return, sophomore who had started while Matriano was out the last 3.
I feel like with all successful teams, Jen, you mark a huge win or a huge game on the schedule. Yeah, nervy moments.
And it's not over yet. But yeah, this would be one of those.
Yes,
that
for
mark
Notre
that you
Dame.
know.
And the confidence that they would give this team. Not that they didn't have confidence before, but to understand that you can come back against one of the top teams in the country with the ability that they have to score goals in a multitude of ways. This victory would be something else for Notre Dame in this program and at this point in time in the season.
And the Irish, really opposite of Florida State, have gone through, as this is put across, kept in play, Florida State says. Now it's out, and it will be a corner. But the Irish have really gone through the Lions' share of their schedule in terms of looking at ranked opponents after tonight. They host SMU next. They then go to Virginia Tech. They're at Wake Forest. That is the only ranked opponent remaining on their schedules. They finish up on the road at Pitt. So the last three are on the road, as here comes the corner. Win. Florida State running out of time on the road here in South Bend. Simmons. Hodsden actually backed out of the play. Dudley.
Less than a minute remaining in the match.
Under a minute now, and the Notre Dame fans already starting the celebration in the stands. This is a big one tonight. Will this one be looked back on as a major benchmark for the Irish en route to perhaps an ACC regular season title? And maybe more down the road. They've come so close to the College Cup in recent years, but just haven't been able to get there. Is this the type of match that gives them the confidence they can be standing at the end? Because they came back and got their win tonight in impressive fashion. 4-2, our final from South Bend.
What a game all around, but what a response.